Hey, what's up? Rafael Cortez here, your wholesaling business blueprint coach. Welcome back to the Wholesaling Inc. podcast, the best wholesaling podcast in America. We are sitting down with one of our students, Mariah Brimer. This lady, she jumped in 4 months ago. Check this out. 4 months ago and started going just crazy on this thing. She's been committed. I've seen her on the coaching calls every single week since then. And inevitably, right? Massive results. Boom. Just after the 90-day mark, I mean, it's crazy what she's been able to do in such a short period of time. So glad to have you, Mariah.
Thank you. The pleasure's all mine. This is great.
Yeah, no, it's been fun to see the journey, to see how you've come across from a background where you didn't really know much about real estate, and I remember the initial conversations, and now it just results, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I had 4 months ago, I had no clue. I had no clue real estate or anything. I had a lot of interest in it. It was something that had always piqued my interest. I loved the whole, right? HGTV gets everybody hooked, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
All that stuff, right? Yeah. So I had always been interested in it. My husband and I had flipped our house, and so, but I never took the plunge. I never took the leap until I heard the podcast. I heard this podcast and just totally took the plunge and went into real estate investing. So here we are today.
So your background is you were in healthcare,
Yes.
and then you decided to, you came across a podcast and you started, just kind of listening about what made you choose wholesaling. That's question number one. And then the next thing that I want to ask you is, how did you wrap your head around the idea of actually, taking the plunge?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So actually in December, I had come across, crazy enough, I had come across a mini series on social media and just jumped into it. It was one of those free courses and just figured, hey, what is it in my time, right? So jumped into it. It was real estate networking and kind of the basics that another company was running. And I liked it. I mean, it was a week of my time that I jumped on these calls every day and listened. Every day was something different. So they talked about flipping, they talked about buy and hold and wholesaling. And that's what really stuck out to me the most. I really kind of just decided that they weren't necessarily for me. It was a great, just kind of beginner, but
Review, yeah.
yeah, it was a good review of everything. So I just took a plunge and just kind of did some research, came across Wholesaling Inc. And this was the one that just really stuck out to me. There were so many podcasts, so many people that were just talking about what I truly want to do and helping people. And there's really so many people out there, distressed sellers, that's who I want to target. That's who I want to help. I want to be a solution for them. And realize that I guess I didn't realize prior to listening to this podcast and hearing all these stories that there were so many people out there looking for somebody to help them that, where traditional selling isn't the answer for them.
Right.
Kind of where I heard it and it hit home with me. And so now I jumped in and here we are.
That's amazing. It's kind of, I don't think I've ever told you guys this, but it happened the same in a similar way for me. So I went to a weekend seminar, Rich Dad, Poor Dad thing. So I went to this seminar in Tucson, and they were doing an overview. Basically, that's what it is when that's the first time I ever, thought about real estate. So I was like, all right, cool. I'm going to go in, do the immersive thing, go there for a weekend and see what's up. They talked about wholesaling for a whole 20 minutes, 25 minutes. And it was like the side conversation, and it wasn't really highlighted or anything, but it's the one thing that caught my attention. Then after that, I just started doing all kinds of research, and fast forward almost a decade, and here we are.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great foot in the door into real estate. So that's what really drew me to it was I have no real estate background whatsoever. And when they were talking, again, it was the same thing. It was just this brief hour breakdown of what it was. And unfortunately the reason I didn't necessarily go with that company is they almost had like a stigma to wholesaling. And I guess a lot of people might have that stigma because I don't know, I guess I don't know how to explain it, but it's just there. And maybe it's just because they don't fully understand what we do and how much we really can help both the seller and the buyer. And That's why I did start researching and just trying to figure out other avenues. And I came across this, and it's like, man, this is exactly it. This is what drew me into it.
I think you're making a very important point there. A lot of people, I don't want to say most, but a lot of people just hear wholesale and then they hear all the bad connotations and the bad rep that it's got. It's an industry where it's it used to be very easy just to come in and take advantage, and a lot of people unfortunately were doing that, right? But if you use it, it's just one of those tools. If you use it the right way, you can create a good space for both the buyer, the seller, you. It's a win-win all around if you know how to structure the
Absolutely.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the key is you need to go into every single situation. Every time you talk to a seller, you've got to look at it as how am I, and I'm sure everyone listening to this has heard this before, but how are you helping them? But truly that's what it's about is what is the situation? Lay it all out for me. How can I connect you with buyers that can help the situation? How can I help you move? How can I help you get an auction company in or just anything, or even just resources? Maybe it's not even connecting them, but that's where we're still the person to help provide a solution.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's actually interesting. I was talking to a realtor yesterday, and it's funny because when in the course, it's laid out like you reach out to your A team, you get them in, and so I had actually touched base with her in the beginning. She didn't really know anything about wholesaling or what I was doing, so she kind of just was like, I don't know if you'll be able to do it in our area. It might not work that great. The market's really hot, and
A lot of agents, surprisingly, a lot of agents have no idea. You
right,
would
yeah,
you
it's
would you
amazing.
automatically give them that validation, right? Because they're real estate professionals,
Mhm.
but they're real estate professionals in traditional sales, in the regular
Absolutely.
transactional sales, not the real estate investment side. So that's one thing to also consider when you're talking to different agents. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And it was great. It was a great conversation. She's like, I don't want me to sound dumb. And it's like, not at all. You have to ask these questions because that's how
Yeah.
you, right? You learn, you grow, you ask the questions. And it was an awesome conversation. And I think we're going to be doing some really great business in the future. So it was great.
Beautiful.
Yeah, to just try to educate a little bit.
Nice, nice, nice. And it happens fast. Everything moves really, really fast. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, I think this is an industry where we have the ability to move at our own pace, right? If you're moving quick and you're taking action quick, your results are going to come faster. I talked about not too long ago in the coaching calls, I was talking about the difference between being committed and being interested. Are
Mhm.
you committed in your future and the type of life that you want to create, or are you just interested?
Right.
Commitment will take will take you to take those actions, right? And move fast and have those results coming in, which I want to talk about. So, 4 months ago, you started 4 months ago. Practically, you were fairly green in the real estate realm, and
It was extremely green.
and and now, I mean, you just closed one deal. You have another one in the pipeline, which seems to be a solid one as well. Let's break those down. Let's talk
Mhm.
about what's happened over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah. So the first deal, I started talking with the seller. This was a FISBO, so for sale by owner. He was in the process of moving across the country. He had a couple different properties.
You cold call of this for sale by owner?
Yes, yep, this is a cold call. Yep. So got a hold of him and went down, checked out the property. I'm a huge fan of learning from everyone I work with and just networking. And so I was trying to JV with somebody. And she's super knowledgeable. She knows her game, but this just wasn't for her. And so, after we walked through the property, I think every seller might have that. They post the best pictures, right? They
Oh
make
yeah,
it look as pretty. Yeah, they
oh
paint a
yeah.
beautiful picture.
That beautiful orange tree in the front
It's
yard
so
increases the
pretty.
property
And then,
value $20,000.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
And, we got there and it just was not at all what we were expecting. So, um, she didn't want to move forward with it. And after a couple days, I just kept thinking about it. I contacted the seller again and just had the conversation of like, how can I help you? Because again, I needed to go back to my roots, to my base, and say how I don't want to just brush him off. He has a issue. He has a problem. How can I help him?
beautiful.
So I made an offer and I made it for 38. And I think she thought I was crazy for making that, but it ended up turning out he had multiple properties that he wanted to
Wow.
dispo. Yeah. And so it worked out really well. He said, I'll accept. He wanted it for 50. got it for 38, and he said, I'll give you this for this price if you take my other property, which was totally turnkey. It had tenants in it. It was great. And he gave me a really low price. I think he said 80, and I just countered 72 just because, I guess.
Because you always counter.
Yeah, you always counter, right? You never know until you ask. And so he accepted it. And that one actually market value as it sits is 105. So instant equity.
Wow, moving ready with a tenant in place.
Yeah. So it was great. And, I think I look back on that, and it would have never happened if I would have just sat on the sidelines.
Yeah.
And, I'm learning very quickly that, yes, take advice, take suggestions, everything, but also stay true to your roots. Stay true. Like, if you have that feeling that you want to help this person, that you need to you got to make it work. You figure it out every day. You just do what you can. You hustle real hard.
Yeah.
Because that's what it was with this deal. And the turnkey is the one that I closed earlier this week, and it was just shy of 20 grand for.
Ooh, 20K under 4 months.
The bell! I got the bell.
Bam!
Awesome.
Nice.
So yeah, it worked out really well. And the other property, that one was super interesting. She was right. It was hard. It was a hustle to get buyers for that one because it was a total reno. The upstairs was gutted. It's a lot of work. It's a big house.
It's a problem, right? Like, that's why they're selling. They have a problem. We're coming in with a solution. Yeah.
Yep. And so that's where it was. It is I had probably more than what I should have for contractors walking through and giving me advice and ideas and quotes, just so I could really give my buyers a good breakdown, because I wanted them to know exactly what they were getting into.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a buyer. I got two of them that were going to partner on it. And unfortunately, 2 days before closing, she just ghosted us. So,
ooh.
Yeah, she signed everything, and then it was just a no-show after that. So that was it was just another roller coaster that you figure out, right? You just get your hands dirty and figure it out. And so luckily my husband, like I said, my husband and I have flipped, and so we just came in and we were the buyers on that one.
So you closed that 20K deal, right? And that was done and over. And then the second property was the one that you were going to take down and then come in and flip, which was the second property. Was that the original property?
That was the original, yes.
The original, the one you originally went after because he was doing a fizzball on it, right?
Yep. Yeah. Okay. And so for that one, and honestly, after the first,
hidden gems. Wow.
Right. Absolutely. Hidden gem. Yeah, absolutely.
Hidden gem on that other one. Yeah.
Yeah. You just talk, right? You just, again,
as Brent would say, right? Talk to people.
Absolutely. Wear the shirt, man.
Simple as that, really.
Yeah. And so that's what it was. And just pulling more information out of the seller and really trying to get to the root of his problem. And that was it. He actually took this property on as his first time flip and realized he's not a flipper. He had gone to the upstairs, unfortunately, probably didn't hire the best contractors, and they ran off halfway through the project on him. So it was a whole thing. And that's where, being able to have some of the background and experience with flipping, and that's where I knew going into it, at the end of the day, if I couldn't find a buyer, I'm going to flip it regardless, get it off his hands. But yeah, it was interesting. I actually went to another JV. I partnered with somebody else, and he was the one that found our buyer on that one.
So there's a lot of things that went on in this deal. First deal, crazy deal. Most people would just kind of shy away from it, but you stuck to it. I remember having conversations where you felt like you didn't have the resources. Well, I don't know. And the thing about this stuff is that experience comes with the action, right? So you did a very smart thing. You reached out to somebody who had more experience on it. The things didn't pan out, but you came back to it. You didn't just sit there and took. You were looking at something from a different angle, from a different perspective. And that's huge. Coming in and understanding, like you said, that somebody has a problem, somebody has an issue, they can't sell it. There's going to be something's going to happen there. Something's going to give, right? And you can be the person providing that solution or somebody else. It's better if it's you because you can create a win-win like this. So yeah, no, it's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
So now you close 20K, that's under it's in your pocket. It's all yours in under 4 month period where you're starting to learn and build the business as you go.
Mhm.
And you have so now you have this other property on the pipeline to come in and then flip it, right?
Yes. Yep. And so flipping that one, or excuse me, partnering with another tribe member on that one, which is awesome. Again, it's all about networking, right?
Yeah.
You constantly reach out, especially in this business. I think education and support and networking is
Hmm.
everything. So you
Absolutely.
go out there, yeah, you put yourself out there, you learn from every single person you encounter, and you just take it and try to apply it to yourself and grow. And that's really my motto for all of this, because if I didn't have the tribe, I don't know what I would.
Your network is your net worth, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So,
Yeah, no, and it's really cool when you're in a space where people understand what you're going through,
mhm.
and not to highlight the even more the benefits of joining a coaching program and then being part of a tribe where the learning curve is a lot shorter, right? But there's a lot of stuff that go along with it. I mean, the connections, the network. You can reach out to somebody in California, for example, if you have a deal over there, and then you're
Mhm.
not going to be all just by yourself. It's vetted. It's that sort of thing. But creating those relationships early on. I mean, that's why I push so hard for the A team. As we're building up the
Yes.
process, is one of the strategies that we have, right? As soon as you get going with your setup, week one, we start talking about the A team, the power team. What is that? Why am I not having conversations with sellers yet? Because you don't need them yet. You need an infrastructure. You need a foundation of people who you can reach out to, who have resources, and then they can come in and help you like this. So yeah, no, it's definitely one of those things where you have like a roller coaster emotional ride through
Oh,
going through a
absolutely.
deal, but I think you handled it marvelously.
Thank you. Thank you. It was definitely a roller coaster, especially in the first one. There was so many pivots, throughout the whole
Yeah.
thing. And you just get creative. You get creative and you figure it out. And what a learning experience. I'm actually really thankful this was my first one, because they've got to go a little smoother than this, right? Let's
Well, every
hope.
deal is different. That's what's crazy.
Yeah.
Some of them go without a glitch,
Mhm.
and then you have some other ones that are like, oh my God, I'm gonna make how much on this thing, on this headache? It's the nature of the beast.
Right.
The nature of the
Right.
beast.
And yeah, and I
Yeah.
think, going back to the resources like you mentioned, I'm from a very small town. I mean, we're talking less than 40,000 people. But the thing is there's distressed sellers everywhere. There's
Hmm.
just sellers that need a solution that problem could not be traditional selling in their case.
Right.
And that's where I think I struggled, again, going back and trying to educate people what I was doing. But at the same time, I didn't know what I was doing. So it was a learning curve. It was going to my tribe, to my to this mentorship, and learning as much as I could, and then turning around and educating. I had a heck of a time finding an attorney, like I said, connecting with local agents, because they just don't really fully understand how
Hmm.
we help each other in this business, help our sellers and our buyers. So just it's been a learning curve. Every step of the way, it's been a learning curve, but it's been awesome.
The idea that people don't understand this, especially if you've been, for example, one of the constant listeners, right? You've been following the tribe for a long time. This is
Mhm.
wholesaling. Almost sounds like, okay, it's just like car sales. Like it's the same amount of people that know about car sales as the amount of people that know about wholesaling. That's it's not true. It's not a lot of people
Yeah.
know about this strategy, right? And it's even more surprising to find out that professionals, you're talking real estate agents, you're talking attorneys, are like, what are you trying to do? What is this thing? I'm a real estate attorney, but I haven't heard of this before. It's
Right.
just, yeah, like you said, it's one of those things where people oftentimes, depending on how big your home is, meaning in the reach and the network, it's sometimes you do have to come in and then just at least plant the seed. Plant the seed.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They'll
plant
go
the
on and do
seed.
some research on
Yeah.
themselves, and then, yeah,
Absolutely. You hit it right there on the head. Just educating, really.
yeah,
That's what it is. It's just educating. There's no fault, no harm, but it's just learning about it, and that we are in this, if you're truly in this to help somebody create a creative solution to their problem, then it's gonna always work out. It's going to work out. It may not be easy. It's gonna be that a roller coaster? But you know what? At the end of the day, the relief that that seller has is incredible, and that's so rewarding for me going into this, and it's just motivated me to keep going and having more and more conversations with sellers.
Well, you know that you got to do enough for long enough. It's not just, doing enough. Yeah, it's kind of, but you have to do it for long enough as well. You have to stick to it.
Right.
And that's, where the tenacity and the consistency comes in. It's all, always something that we push, in the conversation. So, no, again, I'm proud of your work, proud of your progress. It's been really, really cool to just, see the whole development of the last 4 months and everything that you've gone through. Yeah, you're crushing it. I mean, you have stuff in the pipeline. You have things that are, it starts moving real fast after that.
It does. You gotta hold on tight because it's going pretty quick here. I like, as I mentioned, I reached out to another wholesaler to JV that original deal, and there, him and I have just kind of teamed up, and we have a couple landlords that have multiple properties that they're looking to get rid of. And I mean, again, I can't stress it enough. It's your network. You got to have that strong team around you.
Now you have like a new set of goggles, right? You're seeing opportunity where you weren't seeing it 4 months ago. It was just a one track thing, and it's really not. I mean, there's opportunities left and right, especially when you partner up who's got experience in something else, and then you start mixing your experience with their experience, your tenacity with their need, and opportunity just
Absolutely.
pops up. So way to go, way to take advantage of it. Let's keep doing this. I mean, you're you're in a fast track right now. I love it, Mariah.
I'm really tight.
So if you were going to tell somebody who's jumping in 3 things, just it doesn't have to be about the tribe, just 3 things in general, what would you tell somebody who's just getting started in wholesale?
I think if you're just getting started in wholesaling, I think or just in real estate in general, the biggest thing is, you touched on it before, are you interested, or is this a commitment? Because that was a moment for me to realize, like, I need to be in this. I need to be all in. I mean, I quit my day job. Like, I was all in. I think my husband thought I was nuts, but here we are, we're making it. And I think that's such a profound moment. And if you're going to jump on it, because you're really transitioning from that, your 9 to 5 to being an entrepreneur and getting out and creating your own business and getting creative, working for yourself. I think that's huge. I think the other thing is just keep going. No matter what, you're going to have so many moments. But for me, especially, I worked the 9 to 5. So I was so used to having this layout of this position that I needed to do when I had my job. I knew what I needed to do with this. You're probably not going to know. We have our blueprint, and you stick to the foundation, but you have to get so creative in every single situation. So just know, you're going to have ups and downs and curves and turns and everything, but just keep going and find those people around you. Learn from everyone in this business, because there are so many good people in this business that want to help. New investors, and they want to help. So just reach out. You never know until you ask. And I think the third thing is just keep learn from every single thing, whether it's reading, whether it's podcasts, whether, research, constantly keep educating yourself, because knowledge is power. So just keep going and just keep grinding. I swear you're going to get there. We're all in the journey together.
It's real.
It's so real.
So real. Yeah, we always laugh about it, but it's when you get hit with that first check, like, things change. You just get rewired in your head. Everything becomes real. Everything's like, wow. It's almost like a surreal moment, right? Yeah. And you can come back and do it again. Just follow the process and do it all over again.
Right.
So that's beautiful. Mariah, thank you so much. You've been amazing. It's been a fun to have you on a Zoom call, something other than the regular coaching calls. Which
Thank you. The pleasure's been mine.
I love it. Tribe, there you guys have it. If you're interested in finding out more about the Wholesaling Business Blueprint, or you have any questions, go to the Wholesaling Inc. website /WBB and schedule a call with one of our reps. Have a conversation. If it works out and it feels good, and you think this is something that you want to explore, look into, and it works out for you guys and for us, I look forward to working with you. Until then, stay focused. You got this. Boom.